Okay, Bapa do Bapa dee dee dee. You just heard from TJ and Brad from Southern Hospitality, and now we are moving on to the not Southern Charm reunion. I wish. No, actually, I'm enjoying this season, or the last couple of episodes at least. This is season 10, episode 12. This is entitled "Lost at Sea," and we can only take that to mean we can go deep with that title. We can say that Shep is so lost in his love of Scheana that he's out there in the sea, just hoping that Sienna's love can pull him back in. But she keeps allegedly ghosting him, and he's heartbroken. He's spinning out, as Craig says. And he just wants the love of a 25-year-old woman in the Bahamas. I mean, come on. Is that too much to ask? He's been on this show since day one. Can't he have the love of a 25-year-old woman in the Bahamas? So that's where we kind of left off, is that last week Shep sent this insane text message that, I'm thinking back a week later on it, still really insane because you just know how poetic he thought it was. And Craig and Austin had a very similar reaction to me. Austin is obviously trying to empathize with his friend, where Craig is a little bit of a tough love friend. And then at the end of last week's episode, we also had Craig confiding in Madison that he thinks that Austin hates him. Austin hates him. Yeah, but Austin also has reason to feel weird about Craig. Craig wanted to buy him out of their podcast, Pillow and Beers, for $30K. By the way, if Craig offered me $30,000 for this podcast, you guys would never hear from me again. I'd be living the big life in the Bahamas. I'd be like, I'd build a little hut, just go snorkeling all day, have fish fries, have the chicken in the bag that they had last week. So this week, I was hoping for an entire Shep and Scheana episode. We did not get that. We got elements, but we also have other things happening in this. Now, JT finally has shown up to the Bahamas, and JT has taken it on the chin all season long. Now, there's a lot of reasons that people do not like JT. I understand that he can be unsavory in some ways, but this dude is like, this dude should have been there since season 1, because he's going in there with the energy of somebody starting off in reality television. And I think these people are so cliquish at this point that they are so willing to just be annoyed by him every chance that they can get. And I hate it because I like Craig to a degree. I do. But it is becoming harder and harder to look past the fact that Craig does tend to, I don't even want to say lie, but there is a lot of bending of the truth. And I always think with that, like maybe he logisticizes it to himself in some way. But this dude now, like we literally have cameras on this show that pick up conversations. That's how this thing works. You put a camera on somebody and you put a mic and you're able to see and hear by some kind of weird mechanical magic. That's how television has always worked. And we never can find the footage with any of these things that Craig magically hears. And other people around Craig do not hear them either. And this man has no reason to lie. And that's what's so frustrating, because this guy, this guy's the Pillow King. Are you kidding me? This guy's the Pillow King. He had Paige, does not have Paige any longer, but he has his pick of a bevy of beauties, I'm sure. But this man loves mess. And I think a little key to Craig, last week when he was trying to eavesdrop on Shep's conversation with Scheana on the phone, Austin spoke up while Craig was trying to eavesdrop, and Craig literally got up and was like, "Shut the fuck up. Mommy's trying to listen to something right now." So he kind of has this perfect housewife element. I think I always joke that Craig would just be an amazing Real Housewife, because I have a little bit of that in me too, is that I like to hear mess. I want to hear the secrets. Let me hear what's going on. Here's me trying to defend Craig again. And he has a moment in this episode where there's a similar moment. But I don't know, there's something in him, and I don't necessarily think he's trying to produce the show. I don't think he's trying to make moments happen. JT is trying to make moments happen. But JT is also the one that gets thrown under the bus again and again and again, even if it's not his fault. Now, his relationship with Vanita is a completely different animal. That's a completely different animal. He has now allegedly told her he has a girlfriend, but he's still putting himself in those situations. And he's like, I'm a red-blooded male. I'm from the South. I'm tiny. I need this. So there's a lot of weirdness there. And I truly think he genuinely hurt Vanita's feelings in all of this. We now know that he did come back to the reunion because he did dip out and didn't show up for the final 2 talking head interviews. Because remember, they film a lot of these talking heads after the season, and there's like certain scheduled dates. So it's not just like one and done. That's why you see them in different outfits a lot. But I'm so happy that whoever it was convinced him to come back. And you'll see that in scenes with JT, where you'll have like Shep kind of encourage JT. Like, I don't even think Shep really likes JT either, but he's like more, he'll be like, yeah, just keep it cool. Just keep it cool. Say your piece. Say your piece. It's like teaching somebody how to ride a bike, but they're teaching them how to do a reality television show. But I appreciate the effort that he's putting in, because I don't think this cast is coasting like I think certain people on Real Housewives of Beverly Hills are. But there is this element of, not I'm above this, but this is just a little bit like, I can't. Like, Craig is stepping away a lot more. And I told you this last week, and it holds true. Craig is mainlining Red Bulls at this point. Like, he ordered another Red Bull at dinner, and I was like, at fucking dinner? Yeah, I'm going to have the mahi mahi tacos and a nice big glass of Red Bull. I'm sorry. I have such bad memories of Red Bull that I just can't. It pains me sometimes to watch, people drink Red Bull just as like a dinner drink. Like, wow, that's wild. So everybody's in the Bahamas. We had Whitney, Vanita, they are there now. JT shows up at the beginning of this episode, and then we have the rest of the gang coming in, and they've all got to get ready for dinner. So we have Vanita, Madison, Sally, after like the fish fry, right? So they're getting out of their Sprinter van. JT's already in, and Vanita says, wash the tooter and the cooter and get ready. That's sounds like something my grandma would have told me. Well, I wash the tooter and the cooter and just come to dinner. So we're going to wash the tooter and the cooter. I also love all the men's beachwear. You can tell that Austin has been hoarding clothes for a Bahamas trip for like his entire life. His entire life. I will say the Bahamas, don't they look beautiful? Anyways, the girls' suite, all the ladies are getting ready, doing the makeup. But in the guys' suite, we see Austin showing Craig what the options are for wearing. Craig's brushing his old teethies. That's great. This guy is taking care of himself, even though he is consistently lying, potentially. We go back to the girl suite. Molly, they're all just like, what are you going to wear tonight, girl? What are you going to wear tonight? Taylor's asking Molly. And this is where it gets really weird and potentially incestuous in some ways, because Taylor Ann obviously is with Gaston right now, who we don't really see on the show much, but was obviously with Shep. Now, Shep is in love with Scheana. Taylor is having to watch this dude try and fail to get Scheana to love him back, which can be encouraging in some ways, or like, LOL, Shep, there's like this probably, I bet it's so conflicting for Taylor, is that it probably pains her in some way to watch him go through that, but also makes her laugh a little bit of like classic Shep. But now in this episode, we have so many more people pushing Molly, the new cast member, toward Shep. Now, there is this rumor going around, or was a couple weeks ago, that Molly lied as well on the show and that Molly potentially has a boyfriend already. I don't know. All we know that in the mid-season trailer, they do show Shep and Molly making out, but Shep has a beard in that episode. So I'm predicting that is the season finale, and Shep has grown one of those depression beards, like the one I've worn for the last 4 years. But we see him in he's like, after the Bahamas, he's like, Scheana doesn't love me. Time to grow stubble. So we know Molly and eventually hooks up with Shep, but it just feels like pain on top of pain. Like, even if Taylor's moved on, it's like, watch which girl of Southern charm gets forced on Shep this season. But people are taking pity on Shep. And I do find it interesting. The audience is more holding Shep's feet over the fires, going like, dude, how many girls have you done this to through the course of your lifetime? But I feel like most of the Southern Charm cast members is like, oh, poor Shep. Come here, little Sheppy. Can I make out with you? Oh, poor guy. So Vanita's excited that JT is finally there. JT's texting Vanita pictures of what shoes should he wear. And I think she finds this very cute that he's doing this, right? He stayed back from the fish fry and he said, I'm not going to do activities. I'll see you guys at dinner. I'm tired, Vanita is sharing. And Vanita says, hey, we're not going to have any tomfoolery tonight. It's going to be just fun. She just wants everybody to get along. She just seems like the nicest, sweetest person. But Vanita's like, hey, once JT can get over that hump with the group because they're all kind of pissed off at him for various things through the season, everything's going to be great in Vanita's head for JT. Madison calls Brett, her husband, and catch up. And also, I'm not really good with my own makeup, but Madison, she has like dark black liner around her lips. And it almost looks like she's like goth, like she's about to listen to like all the Smiths albums back to back. But and then I looked at dinner and she doesn't have black lipstick. So I don't understand what the black lip liner is. And I know there's a very simple answer that I'm not knowing because I don't wear enough makeup. But it really frightened me. Anyways, they do a check-in. And also, it was announced this week, they did a gender reveal for Madison and her husband's new child she's pregnant with. And it's a girl. So congratulations to Madison and Brett. So everybody looks beautiful, getting ready for this big dinner. Austin and Craig are pretty much wearing the same outfit. Starsky and Hutch here. A lot of reality shows are just people walking in and out of elevators. Also, Severance is a lot of walking in and out of elevators. But I noticed that a lot, especially on group trips. It's just a lot of elevators, like out of elevators into elevators. And I dig it. Now the guys come down after the girls and everybody is ready. I don't know. They're all hugging like they didn't see each other this entire trip, but they're ready to have a good night. It's going to be positive. Whitney is out there. He gives Vanita a big old kiss on the cheek. And finally, the man of the hour comes out the door. It is JT. And Shep gives him a hug. Hey, what's up, man? What's up? And then JT gives Craig a hug. Vanita gives JT a hug. And Vanita says, there's a different type of joy when JT is in the room for me. And it's very sweet. And it also just goes to show you that, like, for all those people out there that thinks this person won't like me, that person won't like me, you would never think Vanita would like JT. But Vanita likes JT. And I don't know. I don't know if that provides me with solace. But then I think also JT kind of hurt her. Anyways, who knows? This is not the time for that. Anyways, Vanita's kind of laid it on a little strong, says, you smell nice, JT. He's like, thanks a lot. All right. So we get in the Sprinter van, and Madison in a talking head's like, I want to be like Flick with JT, and get out of here, you little gnat. Get out. JT says, I'm cautiously hopeful to be here. There's enough relationships in this friend group that I do care about, that it's worth the awkward feeling that I have right now in my chest and my heart and my gut. There's a couple of, it looks like different Sprinter vans, and everybody's kind of talking like, who is JT cool with? Oh no, JT's actually in the van while they're talking. And JT's like, is everybody cool right now? And Vanita's like, yeah, I feel like a little on edge right now, but everybody just needs to relax. It's going to be good. It's no problem. Now, Whitney is in the front, and Whitney is just listening to this whole thing. Whitney, remember, a producer on Southern Charm, one of the people that brought this idea to Bravo with Mr. Thomas Ravenel, which, remember, White Lotus Season 3, Oscar Isaacs, the actor, has now full-on admitted that Mike White, the creator, writer, and director of White Lotus, said to watch Southern Charm for that family that he's the patriarch, the head of. He told them to watch Southern Charm, and Oscar Isaacs admits that he is doing a Thomas Ravenel or that's inspired by Thomas Ravenel, which I think is amazing. Now, Whitney is such an interesting person on this show because there have been times earlier on the seasons when we got to see more of his personal life, and now he's a little backseat driver because I imagine he doesn't want to get into all of the tomfoolery. Like, he wants to get into the tomfoolery, he just doesn't want to get into the tomfoolery on camera. Or he is that guy that will mercilessly roast you in a scene. We see it a lot. He did it with Shep a couple of episodes ago when he was saying, like, Scheana doesn't like you, like, for this reason and this reason. And he can really seem to hit you hard. But everybody seems to kiss Whitney's ass to a degree. And I think it's just because of status. You know, Whitney has status. And also, Whitney is a producer on this show. They pull up to this restaurant, Solimar. And we're like, okay, dinner. Let's see what the sparks fly. We know, obviously, this scene will probably be about JT in some way. So the mess already starts at dinner because nobody will sit with this poor JT. Sally, one of the new cast members, is like, I ain't sitting next to him at all. And we flash back to last month when JT at his little clubhouse brought up the fact that she was the other woman in a full-blown affair with Gaston, Taylor's boyfriend. And she's like, are you saying I was a homewrecker? Are you kidding me? So Sally won't sit next to JT. So Craig, being all chivalrous, says, I'll switch chairs with you. So he's going to sit next to JT. So already this dinner is start. Why didn't Vanita just sit with JT? Like, why didn't I wonder if producers didn't let Vanita sit next to JT. This is when they placed the cocktail orders and when Craig ordered the Red Bull. And for me, I've just been thinking about it since. Craig did a baller move and looked at the appetizer menu and said, one of each for the table. One of each appetizer. But he also orders a Bud Light in a glass. A Bud Light in a glass and a Red Bull. Hell yeah. So JT's kind of sizing up the scenario, what's going on. And now Shep goes over and talks with Sally. And Sally's like, hey, Shep, how are you? Why is Scheana not here? And Shep leans down and goes, I just think we know how much we click. And she doesn't want to lose that. And I don't either. Are you out of your mind? Are you out of your mind? She knows how much we click, and she doesn't want to lose that either. My God, this man is on the moon. Somebody save this man. We need to get him off the moon. Now, Craig is actually talking to JT and goes, I've been dealing with this all day with Shep. I'm just listening right now. So he's already eavesdropping what he does best, but he didn't tell JT to F off like he did Austin last episode. Anyway, Sally tells Shep, I just think you deserve better. And I don't want to see you get hurt. And Shep goes, I appreciate that. Now, Taylor can hear this in a talking head. She rolls her eyes at this whole conversation. And Shep goes to drain the main vein. And Rodrigo is like, wait, so Sienna's coming tomorrow? And Craig goes, he thinks she is, but she's not. She's not. It's very obvious she's stringing him on now, right? Now, Austin is listening to this. Austin obviously feeling protective for Shep, but Craig's right. I don't think she's leading him on because I feel like she's giving him all the signs of somebody that doesn't like somebody. But I think Craig is right. She is not going to be there. In a talking head, Austin's like, Jesus Christ, man. Craig tells JT his head has been scrambled this entire time, trying to figure out where they stand. Austin in a talking head says Craig has not one single ounce of empathy. Whereas Austin, tons of empathy. It's an empathy off in Jamaica right now. Shep comes back, sits down. There's a little awkward silence. Shep does give a compliment to Madison and says her chest is glistening and that he cannot stop looking. And she's like, thanks. That was the point of buying them. God, I still can't. I mean, we all think about the glory days when Alex Rodriguez was DMing with Madison and that broke up J-Lo and Alex Rodriguez, which then led us to the Bennifer 2.0, which then led us to them divorcing. Wild. All because of Bapa Do Bapa DTT. Anyways, all of the food is getting brought out. A magnificent feast along with a tall glass of Red Bull, Reddith Bull. And this is what I'm saying. It's like these shows, Summer House, which I just recapped as well. There's a whole episode if you want to listen to it. Some of these shows, they're just, there's vibes, right? It's a lot of chilling. Like I said, going in, out of elevators, into elevators, having appetizers delivered to the table. Just kind of nothing. We're just watching this. It's like atmosphere. Now, Shep turns to Molly and says, Shep turns to Molly, not Sally. Sorry. Shep turns to Molly and says, not to belabor the point. Remember I was telling you about the text? And Molly's like, Scheana? Is that what you're talking about? And he goes, hey, this is what I sent her this morning. Shep, no! You're showing more people the text that says, that's the end of my TED Talk about the freckled lips? Are you out of your mind? You're randomly showing waiters and staff at this restaurant. And Molly, poor Molly's like, does probably have a crush on him because she's like, oh, that's sweet. And we see the little chyron pop up of one of the texts that says, my heart sings when I'm with you. I wonder if Shep can sing at all. Like his heart might be a better singer than his voice. And Molly says, you're going to make me cry. You made me cry laughing. And anyways, she's still reading it. She goes, oh, freckled lips. I love that line. I love that. And you can tell Shep is just eating it up. He's like, yeah, you see, I'm Bill Shakespeare over here. Perfect freckled little lips. And Molly even says, you're so poetic, Shep. What? Madison in a talking head says, hey, ding dong. Hey, ding dong. You got Molly right here who actually likes you. Why wouldn't you shoot your shot with someone that's into you? Which the subtext there is like, why wouldn't you put your penis in her? She'd potentially let you. But we know he's an idiot, so here we are. And by the way, that's a good working title for Southern Charm, is Southern Idiots. Molly just once again butters his ego and says, no, I really like that. I really like that. And Shep's like, wouldn't you be like over the moon if you got that? And she's like, oh, yeah. And Shep goes, yeah, even though you don't have freckles on your lips. By the end of the season, I bet she tattoos freckles on her lips or something crazy like that. We're eating more. We're seeing him down the oysters. Whitney is eating at like all the top-notch restaurants, so I wonder if he considers this a shithole or not. I wish Whitney sometimes would speak up like, this is nothing like when I was in the south of France when we just shucked oysters straight out of the scene. Anyways, we're talking about the boat trip tomorrow, and Shep's like, fun boat trip tomorrow, kind of like Jamaica, man. It's a 400-foot boat. And then Sally goes, it's big enough to notice if you go, they won't notice if you go missing. So now we're actually talking about killing JT. Amazing. They're talking about swimming that day. Molly has the body for everything. JT lovingly passes the sashimi to Sally and says, ladies first, all right. Okay. Vanito's just watching all of this go down, and JT's like, Sally, I love your hair. You look lovely tonight. And Sally's like, JT, don't fuck with me. And JT's like, you look stunning, might I add. You look stunning. Craig goes, I think you hurt Sally's feelings, some of the things you said before. And JT's like, I think that sometimes I'll come to people's defense, and sometimes when I do, bullets stray, and I got to work on that. Hey, sometimes you're going to get hit with a stray JT truth bullet. I just spit truth. Sometimes you're going to get shrapnel from a truth bullet. So now we're playing musical chairs. Everybody's shifting to the left for like a different seat. And Craig said, well, it's because I hated being on the end of the table. I want to talk to everyone, Craig says. Austin hears this and goes, oh my God. They truly are an old married couple. Like anything that Craig does annoys the shit out of Austin, and a little vice versa. Sally continues with JT and it's like, JT, don't you think it's a problem when there's like 4 people here that you have to apologize to? And JT goes, I can handle a little hot water for a while. I'm good. And Sally's like, I just wonder if you feel weird about that. And he's like, well, there's a lot to say to a lot of people, but I think it's more one-on-one stuff. And Sally's like, it's a lot. Well, he goes, I want to try to show respect to everybody by not bringing stuff up at the table. And I think it's Ryan who says, I think sometimes there, or maybe Rod says, I think sometimes there are things to talk through because not everybody at the table is just going to say, I'm great. And JT goes, I just got here, you guys. I'm not trying to beef. Come on, I'm trying to be like my buddy Craig and drink a nice glass of Red Bull. I'm not trying to beef. I'm trying to eat some dinner and chill. And Sally's like, why is it on your terms, JT? And Shep kind of leans in, goes, hey, what's the urgency? Like, it's okay. It's okay. Well, you know, it's going to be fine. We'll get this all cleared up tomorrow. And Craig says, well, do you see why it's not going to be fun to go out on a party boat if all of us have something to talk to you about, JT? Why don't you just apologize to people, JT? And JT's like, well, I will. Okay, I will say something here. I will. Craig, it bothers me greatly that you lied and you offended Miss Patricia like that. I didn't say that word about her. Craig's like, yeah, you did. You said she was a bitch at the cup and when you handed her a cane. And JT's like, Craig, you're lying. Craig, you're lying. And Craig's like, it was loud and clear. And Madison goes, Craig wouldn't make that shit up. He wouldn't. And JT goes, you're 100% sure. Craig's not lying. I feel like I'm in like a courtroom trial right now. Madison goes, I don't think Craig gets off on making us feel like shit, especially his mother. Tense music everywhere. We flash back to 2 months ago to that cane moment. Him passing the cane. We did not hear bitch. We flash back to another, like the week after that, where Craig is accusing JT of this cane moment. That nobody heard bitch. But Craig at the Jamaica table says, well, Shep was there, JT. And JT's like, Shep, yeah, back me up on this. Back me up on this, brother. Come on, back me up. And there's tense music. Will Shep back up Craig? And this feels like a cut to a commercial. We come back from the break and JT's like, Craig, you are living in an alternate reality, man. So is Shep going to back up JT? And Shep goes, I didn't hear that. I'm on record by saying I didn't hear that. So Craig is, whoa. Madison even like, what? Rodrigo says, I'm kind of shook about what's happening here. And Taylor goes, you know, listen, that's one thing I really don't believe. JT is not the type of person he would never talk about a woman that way. And Benita's like, yes, exactly. That's what it's hard for me to believe. And then Taylor's like, yeah, he has other issues, sure. Like JT has other issues. That's not one of them. He would never say that about Miss Patricia. And Craig is like, didn't you say that about Austin that day too? And Audrey, Austin's girlfriend? And we flash back to that same scene 2 months ago where JT's like, Leva said Austin had a relationship with another girl. I'm like, yo, don't cheat on your girlfriend. And Craig continues, and JT, you said shit about Madison and her husband. You made fun of him for FaceTiming you on vacation. And JT's like, I didn't say that. I didn't make fun of anyone, Craig. And Madison's like, did you say the word affair, JT? And JT goes, no. And then Craig goes, I stand by everything I said. The defense rests. And JT goes, no, he is lying about that. And Madison goes, do you remember that, Shep? Do you remember that? And Shep is just staring. Thinking about the next text message he's going to send Scheana. Madison goes, did he say affair? And Shep goes, affair? No, he didn't. No. It was so nonsensical, honestly, that I didn't even understand what he was saying, Shep says. We flash back to that scene again where JT goes, do you remember in Jamaica when Madison put on my blue striped pajamas? I think it made Brett get a little weird. We get back to this scene and Benita says, okay, so JT didn't say the B word. He didn't use the word affair. So what's the story? And then JT just goes, Craig lies. Madison in the talking head says, she's starting to realize that maybe this was blown out of proportion. You think? maybe Craig said it was a little too dramatic than how JT actually said it. Which, by the way, now I kind of want Paige to recap episodes of Southern Charm. Madison says, listen, JT, I'm not going to embarrass you in front of all these people, so we'll just have a talk tomorrow. And JT goes, thank you, Madison. Thank you. Thank you, Madison. Madison in a talking head says, I'll give JT like a half an inch on this one. And Craig goes, I really thought you were going to own your shit, man, and apologize to everyone. JT goes, you're going to walk it back. Craig goes, I didn't lie. And he has his arms folded. I didn't lie. I'm a pillow king. I didn't lie. I didn't lie. JT goes, what you said flamed us, Craig. And then Craig points with a finger. What you said flamed us. What you said flamed this. I want to start using the word flamed. You flaming this right now. What you said flamed this. And then JT goes, I didn't say what you said. And Craig goes, what you said. It's so ridiculous. And then Craig goes, you know what? Things will probably go better if I'm not sitting here. So I'm going to go get a drink at the bar. And he excuses himself. Ryan goes with him to the bar. He tells Ryan on the way to the bar, I feel like I'm in the Twilight Zone right now. Shep turns to JT, goes, calm, collected, gets the point across, JT. JT goes, I know what I said. And then Austin jumps in and goes, you went off the fucking rails, JT. Why though? Why? And then JT goes, Craig gaslights you, dude. Craig gaslights you. He gaslit you. He gaslit him. He gaslights. Craig's a gaslighter. This guy's out of fucking control, JT says. He's making me seem crazy, which I do think, JT, there is some crazy there, but I understand the sentiment. Austin goes, JT, you've had so many opportunities to come in and be cool and be chill, but it seems that every time you just shit everywhere that you step. JT goes, oh, I'm really glad you're stepping in right now. Yeah, I'm really glad you're jumping in right now. And Austin's like, oh, deflection. And then Shep goes, hey, Austin, why don't you talk this way to Craig? If you, let's talk about that. And then Austin goes, don't you dare compare the two. Do not compare me and Craig to the situation with Jade. You can tell it's it is so at at the top of his emotional. He's like, don't you dare talk about me and Craig like this. Don't you dare compare the two. You're flaming this. Anyways, Ryan at the bar saying JT called you a liar. And then Craig goes, well, I do have a transcript of exactly what he said. I know what I heard. So Shep's a pussy because Shep was there with me. But Shep's so fucking messed up with the Scheana thing that he just wants everyone to get along. We literally have a cameraman and audio from this event, from both of these events. So I do not know why there is any confusion at all. I get it. We all want to potentially dislike JT. But listen, cameras and audio don't lie. And Sally now turns to Shep and goes, I'm so confused why you have JT's back when you're friends with Austin and Craig, when you've been friends with these guys forever. Shep goes, I never hold back. I'll tell you exactly how I feel. Austin holds back all the time. Now he's going for it. And Austin goes, that is a different animal, Shep. Okay? And Shep's like, it's true. And then Austin goes, and you're not wrong. You're not wrong, which I'm so confused. It's a different animal. And then Shep goes, you're not wrong. You're not wrong. Yeah. Shep goes, with Craig, Austin takes, he talks a big game until it's time to talk the big game. But JT, he's an easy target, Shep says. Listen, I agree with Shep sometimes. I think Shep has nailed this one. What do you guys think? Anyways, Austin turns to JT and goes, about my girlfriend, you're a piece of shit for that. But all these other people have such huge issues with you, man. Rodrigo, do you just hear Rodrigo on a mic go, screw all this shit? Then Sally goes, I'm not going on the boat if JT's going on the boat. And Austin goes, you are a little weasel piece of shit. You think that people care what you have to say, and they just don't. And then JT looks at Vanita and goes, weigh in, please. Like, I am wondering why Vanita is being so quiet at this dinner. I think Vanita is such a complicated person, and I mean that as a compliment. You can tell there's such an emotional ocean in her, and it reads like you can read it on her face. And I sometimes wonder. I think there's like a manners and all of these things that I think holds her back. Austin continues just jumping in, going, "You are literally the piece of shit on my shoe, JT," which then made me wonder. I'm like, oh my god, is Austin saying that he has shit on his shoes? Whitney, by the way, is not saying a thing at all. So JT goes, you know what? This ain't worth it at all. For you to call me a piece of shit, after how you handled your shit, and Austin just is like waving him off. I don't care, dude. Whatever. I don't care. Deflect to somebody else, Austin says. And JT goes to the bathroom. Now Shep walks right behind Craig, puts his hands on Craig's shoulders, and Craig's like, huh, huh. Jesus, Shep. And then Craig goes, I'm a little disappointed in you, man. And Shep's like, no, stop. No. We're in a good place, Craig. And I don't want to interfere with that. And Craig's like, I'm not upset at you. I just wish you would have been like, JT, you were wrong at the end of the day. And Shep's like, dude, there's no reason to be upset. We see JT outside. He's leaving. Now, Ryan tells Craig, hey, let JT dig his own grave. You don't need to participate. Now, Vanita's sat at the table, and Taylor says, are you okay? Just take big, deep breaths. And Vanita is like crying. And Vanita tells her, bro, that's my best friend. And everybody at this table, they don't get it. They don't get it. And she's like crying about this. Or she's trying not to cry. In a talking head, she says, it's hard to watch your best friend get verbally beat up, when you feel like there's nothing you can do or say in this moment. Beat up, not beat off, you guys. Shep makes his way back to the table, and Shep goes, listen, I went and talked to Craig, okay? I want to smooth things over with Craig. Craig scares me, Shep says. I'm sorry. Now, Craig and Ryan come back to the table. JT is done. And now they've decided to go home. They're going to go home. What else does this night have in store for us? Now, JT actually didn't go home. He just sat in the Sprinter van by himself until they all got into the Sprinter van. Like, he went and he pouted in the Sprinter van. I love it. Anyways, Shep enters the Sprinter van and says, I hate this shit. We hear Craig on mic going, Shep's such a fucking pussy to have JT's back in there. That's the Red Bull talking, Craig. Come on. And Craig keeps going, Shep was with me when all this happened. Shep heard. Taylor says, JT has a ton of shit he's got to work on. But there is one thing that I do not think that he would talk about a woman that way. And Craig is like, that is not the crux of the issue. Why are we even when you and Shep have his back? This is nuts, Craig says. I don't trust people that can't apologize. I don't trust them. JT goes, I feel like a piñata in my life. I just realized there's two Sprinter vans. So the second Sprinter van has Whitney, JT, Vanita, and Shep and the driver. The rest has the rest of them. So Craig's like, Shep's a fucking pussy. But, Shep's in the other Sprinter van. But JT opens up to us about feeling like a piñata. Is that a Fiona Apple lyric? No, I think that's Paper Bag. Shep goes, listen, JT, you handled yourself well. And JT goes, I'm going to fly home tomorrow. I am. And Whitney's like, no, don't leave. Whitney, the producer, finally wakes up. No, don't leave. No, we need you. Have a sensible conversation with Madison, who is most aggrieved. And JT goes, hey, listen, I've already been eviscerated. There are no guts left in my body. I just got torched. Come on. The first Sprinter van pulls up to the hotel. Everybody's getting up. A lot of entrances and exits, as always. Vanita talks to JT, and JT's like, yeah, let's just talk. Can we just talk? Let's talk. Come on. Very dramatic. Whitney says, yeah, okay, come on. We're getting the fuck out of here. We're going to go gamble. And he gives Shep a high five. The boys are back in town. A lot of the people are going up to the elevator to the rooms, but Shep and Whitney, no, we are going to gamble, right? Which I don't know why the cameras didn't get to pick any of this up, but I guess you're probably not allowed to film people gambling. The girls go in the room to party like girls do. Woo! So then something comes up on screen that says 90 minutes later, and we see Vanita's in her PJs, and she's walking to waiting for an elevator. Where's she going? Where's this Vanita going in her PJs 90 minutes later after they got home? She's on her phone texting. The floor opens. She's going down the hallway, but whose door is she going to? And then all of a sudden, a tap, 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 tap. And we hear JT go, who is it? No, JT goes, come in, come in. And Vanita goes, I don't have champagne. Don't be mad at me. And JT goes, you know what? How could I be mad? And he opens the door and then he sees the cameras. These cameras have followed Vanita. And he goes, no cameras, no cameras. And he shuts the door. And then the cameras go down and he goes, all right, come in. He's still mic'd up. All right. Come on in, Vanita. Door shuts. And we hear Vanita go, hi. Like kind of very seductive. And he goes, hi. Oh my God, what is going on? And then great editing. We get a shot of fireworks in Jamaica. What a lead. Fireworks. Hi. Fireworks. The passion of Vanita and JT. Woo! We wake up and it's the next day in the men's suite, and we just see like it's just dirty as hell. It looks like they ordered everything off the room service menu. Austin is snug as a bug in a rug, and Shep, his feet, we just see the bottom of his feetsies are all just dirty. Rodrigo he looks like he's been through it, and they just had a guys' night. Now in the girls' suite, it is equally messy. Everybody is pigs. Vanita has woken up and she's made herself a nice bagel sandwich, probably doing her morning pages. In a talking head, the producer goes, so in the hotel room, what happened? And Vanita's giggling. And Vanita say, I straddled this man, JT, and says, don't act like you don't want this as bad as I do. Now, JT's talking head goes, I think I made it pretty clear when I removed her not once but twice off of me in my bed in the Bahamas because I have a girlfriend. And we flash back to him telling Vanita that he's seen someone. And JT goes, that is not easy as a guy to do. Vanita goes, in her talking head, for him to come out and just say, like, listen, the feelings that I have, the feelings you have for me are the same I have for you, but stronger. It was very like, whoa. JT in his talking head goes, you're down and out. You're sad. And you got a beautiful girl throwing herself at you. And you're like, no, please, I can't. I mean, I'm trying my best here. She's a temptress. And Vanita goes, and he was like, I can't do that. And I'm supposed to be in this relationship. I'm supposed to be dating this girl. I can't. And that was just my cue of like, done, got it. And we see her biting into the bagel. Didn't get the old JT, but got the bagel. I think Vanita actually won in this situation because the bagel looks good. Now, Madison's waking up with Sally and they're sharing a bed. And JT wants to meet up that day. Now we have in Craig's room. Craig's already, in bed, but scrolling on his phone. He's on his Finsta, and Craig jumps in his bed and is like, oh, man. Hey, Craig, I saw your calls last night. Hey, thank you for looking out for, I sort of spiraled last night because of the Scheana stuff, And Craig's like, hey, man, that's okay. And then Shep continues, but I woke up on a beach chair by a pool. This is like Tom Schwartz behavior in the old days. Remember that? When he would just wander off to another resort? Shep goes, I just woke up and I was just like, yeah, go home. Go home. Like nothing bad happened. Nothing bad. I just blacked out by a pool. Nothing bad happened. And Craig goes, yeah, nothing bad happened. Yeah, you're lucky. But we were looking for you for like 2 hours. And then we have a flashback or a picture from the night before at 11 p.m. where we see Whitney with a bunch of hundreds in his hand in the casino and Shep with a drink in his hand going, hell yeah, hell yeah. So I guess they got kicked out of a casino in the middle of the night, Craig says. He was just so drunk he couldn't stand up. And so when we were done gambling, we went up to the room. And we see them at 1:15 in the room, and Craig's going, where's Shep? Where the fuck is Shep? Shep's nowhere to be found, Craig says. Okay, but I will say this. We started off the season, remember, where Shep reveals the power of ayahuasca and said it's like 3 years of therapy in like a couple days, right? But that ayahuasca trip was inspired by Andy and the rest of the cast really coming down on Shep because he went buck wild at BravoCon and literally did the same thing at a casino. He was hammered saying crazy shit from all accounts. And I'm like, here we are. I haven't seen anybody put this together yet. It's literally the same thing. It's just that BravoCon wasn't happening. Like, if BravoCon was happening in the Bahamas, maybe, but like, it's the same fucking thing. Anyways, Shep is continuing to open up to Craig. It was 2 nights ago. I was like completely fine. I was trying to process a lot. And I think yesterday, like y'all were like, leave your phone here. Let's have fun. And I think I took that too seriously. I like Shep's like, so it's your fault, man. It's your fault, dude. And then Craig goes, whatever this isn't healthy. And Shep goes, I know. And Craig goes, because that's, and then Shep goes, hey, she's coming to the boat today. Scheana is. And Craig's like, why? And Shep goes, because she is. And Craig's like, you just fucking spun out yesterday and slept on a beach chair because of her. And Shep's like, beach chairs are comfy, man. Who doesn't love a pool? No, Shep's like, come on. And Craig's like, you don't want anything to do with that. Come on. Shep goes, no, it's okay. Like, Craig, you have this stance. You're just like, this is what's right. And boom, 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 boom. I'm just not like that. I love it. I'm an artist, man. And Craig is like, but like everything that you're going through is her fault right now. I mean, I think there's a lot of internal things that are Shep's fault, but I guess in this particular situation, Scheana not literally loving him back and saying that the freckled lip poem text was amazing is doing this to him. Craig goes, because if 3 weeks ago when you planned this trip, if the feelings were still the same, we would be one big happy family. And then Shep goes, I'm in love, man. I don't know what to say. I don't know what you know. And Craig goes, have you talked to her today? And Shep's like, no. Hey, she won't text me back, right? And then Shep's like, hey, if she comes to the boat, great. Craig goes, that's what it is. You get to spend another day with her, another day, and then you see what it looks like at the end of the day. So Craig being lightly supportive there. So now in the girls' area, it's JT. They meet up, and JT says, I want to give you this. I want to give you this to give to Whitney. Well, I got this for Miss Patricia and Whitney, this box of cigars, after Craig made that whole shit up. And Madison's like, yeah, I'll keep them. Thank you. Yeah, you can keep them, Madison, of course. And you can decide who gets to smoke them, Madison. Well, thank you, Madison, for taking this time. I didn't want to get into it last night at the table, and I tried so hard not to. But there was a little pressure to have conversations. I didn't really want to have a dinner. I appreciate, And Madison's like, you can have the conversations today. You can. He goes, I don't even know where to dive in, Madison. Let me just dive in, okay? I'm sorry that I brought that FaceTime call up to Craig. That was a huge mistake. It wasn't a hit job on you or your husband. Madison says, it hurt my feelings more than anything. Because I thought, and JT goes, wait, it hurt your feelings because you didn't hear what I said. You heard what Craig said, what I said. It was a conversation for me and you to have, and he just flamed it. Oh, we used the word flamed again. He flamed it. Flamed it, good God. And so we're going off Craig's telephone game of bullshit. I love it. Telephone game of bullshit. And it's destroyed our relationship. It's fucked up. And I want that relationship to come back. I didn't realize Madison and JT had that sort of a relationship, to tell you the truth. But JT goes, hey, I think the relationship can come back, but it's going to have to come back with honesty. I'll tell you that much. Okay? I'm just telling you that I'm being real. I'm being real like Simon Van Kempen. I'm being real. And Madison's like, it's about time. You being real, it's about time. Madison just says, I don't forget people that burn me. She tells JT it didn't have to be this way. JT goes, I know it didn't, but thanks to Craig, it did. Madison says he's glad he got to say his piece. We can move on, and we're done with this. Okay, so JT has made amends with one person. And JT lets her know he's not going to show up to the boot. He's going to go back, take care of some business. And Madison's like, I don't think you need to coward out on this. And JT's like, I can't negotiate the truth with Craig, the Pillow King. Madison's like, you have to face these people. I did last night, Madison. Okay, so he leaves. And so that is done, right? Madison goes up and tells the girls, like, oh, it was civil. I don't know. I always feel bad for him. Ugh, mess. We come back from break, and Craig is FaceTiming with Paige, his ex. And Shep is showing his flamingo matching shorts and button-up shirt to get some advice from Paige on fashion, because Paige is a fashionista. And Paige loves it. And she's like, gorgeous. And Craig goes, only time you'll let me wear a matching set, huh? And Paige is like, yeah. And Craig's like, well, Paige, we're going to make Shep happy today. And Shep's like, that's impossible. I'm unhappy, remember? And Craig is like, well, listen, I told Paige a little bit about last night. I did. And Rod and Austin are laying on the couch across from them. And Austin's like, Rod is making memes over here while your heart is being hurt. I want to see Rod's memes. All right, Rod. Shep goes, anyways, Paige, it's been hard. I'm sure you can understand. And Paige says, the only thing I will say, especially with long distance, is if it's already a little shaky, it's only going to get shakier. Now, once again, I always say, Paige and Craig, maybe there were signs. Things were great. So Paige is saying, like, it's already shaky. It's going to get shakier. And Shep's like, I know, but I said everything I needed to say. Please do not show Paige your text. Please do not show Paige your text. But Shep goes, I laid it all out on the line, Paige. And Paige goes, good, okay, so then it literally is on her. And if she doesn't give you the same energy back, then let her go. And Craig goes, this is what he is held up on. He goes, how could someone tell me that they loved me 3 weeks ago and now act like this? And Paige goes, things change. Yeah, they do. Paige goes, things change. She goes, if she's not texting you back, if she's not trying to sleep in your room every night, if she's not trying to hang out, if she's not trying to introduce you to her family, she does not like you. And then Shep goes, I did meet her family here in Nassau like 2 months ago. That is weird, though. Like, you met her family 2 months ago, and she's like, no family this time? And Paige is like, yeah, but she wasn't talking to you before you got there. And she's not going to talk to you after you leave. Fuck, Paige is so much better at talking to Shep than Craig. It is wild. Craig in a talking head says, Austin and I clearly can't get through to Shep. I think he needs to hear a girl translate the messages to him. The Paige whisperer. Paige says, look, I'm going to tell you something that my mom used to tell me all through my 20s. They don't like you. If they liked you, you would know it. She doesn't like you. Oh my God. Paige is like, what? Am I falling in love with Greg? What is going on? I'm conflicted. I used to not like Paige and now I like Paige. Anyways, Paige goes, you gotta let her go, man. Shep's like, bad connection. Gotta go. Gotta go. Anyways, Paige goes, okay, bye, chicken. And I love you for now. Okay, bye. The girls' suite, everybody's getting ready. Everybody's leaving. Shep's outside walking towards the boat. And Scheana types, hey, not sure I'm going to be able to make the boat. I'm running late. Sorry. And Shep immediately texts back, we'll wait. What's your ETA? Oh, this dude. What's your ETA? We'll wait. Craig is also in matching shorts and shirt. Austin's in matching shorts and shirts. It's like a Shein special here. Anyways, Craig's like, what's happening? He's like, oh, dude, Shep is spinning out. He fell asleep on a beach chair. Craig being a housewife, just spilling Shep's business right and left. Anyways, we see the text bubble pop up on Shep's phone. What is she going to write? In a talking head, Shep goes, this sucks. Scheana said she wanted to come on the boat trip. We flash back to yesterday when she said, oh yeah, that's good, perfect for me, the boat trip. He says to himself, what a fucking predicament. The text bubble is still going. Craig tells Shep, do you want to stay here and talk to her? Could just come on the boat. Or just, stay here and talk to her then. You have a lot to say to her. And Shep's like, I told her to come. And Craig goes, or you could just come on the boat with us and have fun and talk to her later, man. The text bubble's still going on. Text bubble. It's going to be a big text bubble. And then all of a sudden, you guys, the text bubble stops. The text bubble stops. So the group goes ahead. Shep is hanging back, waiting, praying, hoping that there is a message from his lady love with the freckled lips. Craig tells everybody while they're walking to the boat, I'm just sick of Shep waking me up in the morning, every fucking morning. Whitney is not there at all. Whitney is just like, he's just probably bathing in all his winnings from the casino. They're like, hey, is JT not coming on the boat? Austin goes, don't know, don't care. Talk about not like, Austin is just talking about empathy all the time. He literally has zero empathy for JT. I don't know. So Molly is saying, I'm trying to understand everybody's side, but like all JT had to do was come in and apologize. And now it's like ruining all of our times. It's ruining my time. He can fuck right off. Molly, Molly has a problem with JT now too. Okay, so we finally get the text from Scheana and it says, I don't know how late I'm going to be. Why don't I just see you later at dinner? Oh my God. Why don't I it's just going to keep getting later and later. Man, the text should just be like, it just block Shep already. Put him out of his misery. So Shep sighs and he calls. The line is ringing. Your call has been forwarded to a voice message machine. And Shep's like, fuck, man. Fuck. Craig is telling the people, Shep's in his 40s. He can make his own decisions. All we can do is lend our opinion of it. And he takes it. And Taylor says, yeah, at the end of the day, he's going to do what he wants to do. Taylor, his ex-girlfriend, is saying this. And Taylor goes, and he's probably not going to face his emotions. And then we see Shep text one Hail Mary text message just saying, I really wanted you to come with us, but I guess I'll see you back at the hotel. Oh, the ballad of Shep Rose and the freckled lip girl. The ballad of Shep Rose. I don't know. You are feeling bad because he just doesn't seem to even Paige can't get through to him. So we're getting on the boat and sad sack Shep is just like the walk of shame without having any sex the night before. It's just a shame walk without anything possibly exciting happening the night before. So they're just like, oh, look at this sad bastard, the old man in the sea. And Craig's like, okay, we can dance and have fun. We can have fun. All right. Okay. Austin's like, Shep, man, come on. We're going to have a great day. Everything's good, right? Look at the water. It's fun. There's probably fish in there. You got a nice little cute outfit on, And so finally Shep boards the boat. And Shep's just like, it makes no sense, dude. It makes no sense what's happening right now. Shep genuinely seems confused. So we get out on this beautiful ocean. The rum punch is being made. And Austin is telling Madison that Shep doesn't seem like he's doing too good. He's spiraling. And Madison's like, we need to get him drunk. Yeah. And then Madison goes, Molly likes him. And we see Molly is talking to Shep right now over there by Sally. And they're like, okay, yeah, we need to make Molly and Shep happen, right? And then Sally in the other conversation says to Shep and Molly, Sally goes, Molly hasn't had sex in over a year. And I love that this is the first thing that wakes Shep up out of his stupor. Wait, that's almost like a virgin. You've been celibate? Okay. And Molly's like, yeah, I've had sex once in the past 2.5 years. And Shep's like, once in 2.5, like he's all excited. Once in 2.5 years? Whoa. Do you get urges and shit? He literally goes, do you get urges and shit? What do you do? And Molly's like, yeah, I masturbate. And Shep's like, oh, I stopped short of saying that, but I didn't want it. But I love that you said, and she says vibrator. I love that you said that. Oh yeah, all right. So this is the first time Shep has seemed like a normal person again. He's like, okay, all right. And it's close to, we got virgins here. Okay, yeah, hell yeah. Austin, back in this conversation with Madison, goes, I don't know if Molly hooking up with Shep is the solution, but I guess if he wants to, imagine just talking about your friend this way. I guess we could just throw Molly at him, you know? But Austin now is imparting some of the wisdom he's learned over the years, says, hey, nobody can make you kind of get over someone except for yourself. And your friends, they can be like, come on, man, come on, man, come on, man. And you can't do it until you yourself get over it. The wisdom of Austin Kroll. He goes, that's what I know for sure. Now, Vanita is talking to Rod and Taylor and says, JT really hurt my feelings. I texted him earlier and I was like, hey, I heard you're not coming on the boat. Come on, do it for me. I was like, come on the boat for me. And he was like, I can't do it. And I was like, you can't come on the boat for me? And he said, no. And Rod says, plot twist, JT is with Scheana. That was the funniest line of the whole episode. Imagine JT's like, Scheana just can't get enough of JT. We see JT back in his room. He is packing up. He is leaving the Bahamas today. He can't do it anymore. He's got to get out of town. Off to the airport, he says. Oh, sad. So sad. We get our final commercial break here. We come back, they've pulled up to Rose Island, and they all make jokes because Shep's name is Shep Rose. Hey, this is my island. They're all swimming with cocktails in their hand in the beautiful blue water, and everybody's trying to get Molly to kind of kiss Shep, like, hey, do you think Shep's tongue tastes like wallpaper? Why don't you, or sandpaper? Why don't you do it? And so they're like hugging in the ocean, and Molly in a talking head goes, I feel like I'm at a middle school dance and everybody's like, go dance with him. It's putting extra pressure on me. It's stressing me out a little bit. Everybody being like, you know, go mount Shep. You go mount Shep, Austin. Exactly, Austin. You mount Shep, Mr. Empathy. But anyways, you can tell Shep is finally smiling. And they're all just really kind of weirdly encouraging it. Anyways, Craig's just like, hey, go where the tide takes you. I don't know. It is kind of super, super weird. Like, poor Molly, even though I know she kind of likes it. But, I mean, Shep's in a bad way. They're looking out for their bro. I don't know. People are high-fiving now. Good times are being had. The waves are crashing. And we see Molly and Shep talking on the boat. And Madison's like, look at these two. Look at them. And now Shep like touches Molly on the elbow and goes, look at that fish. The old elbow, look at that fish touch. Look at that fish, huh? Huh? And Shep's now like, hey, we went around that point, and she was like, oh no, now he's talking to Madison. Sorry, he's talking to Madison. Sorry, he's talking to Madison. Sorry, I thought this was Molly. He's touching Madison's elbow. Anyways, Shep tells Madison, Scheana and I, we went around that point, like up in the beach area, and she was like, I want you to buy me that house. And Madison's like, shut up. And Shep goes, and it was like a $10 million house. And Madison's like, do you like maybe like feel like you're not rich enough? And Shep goes, yeah, maybe. Yeah, I do. Yeah. Maybe I don't even deserve that shit. Who am I? Who the fuck am I? I'm a fucking wild son of a bitch, Shep says. I'm sort of a disaster zone. And how am I a good idea for anybody? In a talking head, Shep goes, I'm realizing that in the past, I was a wild man from hell. Mind you, he got loaded and passed out on a beach chair last night, folks. Shep goes, and how much stress that put on my relationships, me being a wild man. So I'm feeling a little bit inadequate because a lot of girls are seeing a stable life. A lot of girls are seeking a stable life, and I'm like Mr. Toad's Wild Ride, so I don't know. Oh, the old man in the sea is facing his mortality. He's realizing he might but also, fuck. I mean, like, listen, if that's not rich enough, fuck that. That's not your person. And also, Shep's plenty rich. Shep, trust me, you're plenty rich, man. Madison says, listen, you deserve to be loved as much as you're giving her. And Shep goes, oh my God, thank you. Thank you. And he means it. That really touched him. Madison says, everyone deserves to be with someone that loves them. Even Shep. And honestly, my heart is breaking for him because it's very clear that he's sad. Shep leans over the boat and says, "Isn't it funny how everything works out? Who would have thought? I was so angry. I was so angry." "It's going to be okay," Madison says. And Shep just says, I know. Next time on Southern Charm. And we see more about like long messages from JT texting Vanita. And Molly says Sally says he has feelings for you, like more than a friend. And Vanita shakes her head yes. And then we see Scheana talking to Shep on the beach. And Shep looks at her and goes, "We were in love. Will you admit that at least?" And Scheana goes, "I don't know if we were in love." And then we have the real romance. We have Craig and Austin talking on the beach. And Craig's like, "Austin, I was like, trying not to be an alcoholic is now affecting my friendship with Austin." And Craig is choking up. He goes, "We're still in a great spot, dude." And Austin is just like, I've done this so, the feelings, the deep feelings. Let's hope they get back together. Not Scheana and Shep, Craig and Austin. That's who I mean. What a recap, you folks. And also Southern Hospitality. We started off the episode with them. If you're listening to this on audio, if you're watching this on YouTube, you go watch that YouTube video of TJ and Brad from Southern Hospitality. Anyways, we also did a Summer House recap. There's so many shows. Brittany Haynes from The Traders. Tomorrow I'm talking to Bergie for The Traders recap, so that's going to be a blast. Hope you are about to have the weekend of a lifetime. Hang in there, folks. Bye.